Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Richie Thomas, the Soldiers Coach, coming to you with your Saturday sessions of your final marching orders. I know I have been away for quite a while off camera, but life is life, and as they say, and I had a great plan for 2022, but as Mike Tyson famously said, and everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And I promise you, on everything I love, 2022 has punched me in the head and the heart. Somebody hit me with the Hulk Hogan leg drop, and oh man, it has been a rough start of the year. But hey, listen, I have been hit up by quite a few of my military transition family members, a lot of y'all here on LinkedIn, who have reached out and said, hey, can you help? Or, I just seen a couple situations where I felt like I had to help. And I noticed this really common theme in that there were a lot of folks underutilizing this incredible platform that is LinkedIn. It is the World Wide Web. LinkedIn.com, which literally stands for World Wide Web. It means you have worldwide access to worldwide resources, worldwide relationships, worldwide business owners, and business executives. I think it's probably the most underutilized website in America, but probably the most underutilized website for my military transition family, because essentially it is your online resume. It is your online billboard. This is your professional career, your portfolio on one dashboard. So you get to share who you are, your skill sets, your knowledge, skills, and abilities virtually with the world, which is incredible. So I know one time, like 6-7 years ago, I actually sent an email right here on LinkedIn to the CIO of Microsoft, and he responded. The CIO of Microsoft literally responded to my email on some career and life advice. I asked him how he became CIO, and he told me. And he literally took the time to respond. So when I think about the unbelievable access and resources that we have with this great platform, it's just amazing to me. I'm always like, I tell people all the time, I live on LinkedIn because this is where a lot of relationships are nurtured, especially for your business executives, right? It's I always say LinkedIn is basically Facebook for people who have careers. No judgment. But I wanted to show a couple people, I wanted to show you guys a couple tricks, not even tricks, but strategies on how to better utilize LinkedIn. So these are my 10 steps. Really, it's called How to Utilize LinkedIn to help establish a professional brand and attract relationships with your next employer/business partner if you are getting ready to transition out of the military. And quite honestly, even if you're already out, I think you'll get a lot of value out of today's Saturday session. So let's kind of jump right in and let's check out what we have in store. So there's a couple different ways. I always get frustrated when people are like, hey, I'm not on LinkedIn because I'm not looking for a job. I'm like, it's not just a job dashboard. That's not what it's here for. So fun fact, LinkedIn is actually a little bit older, I think 9 months older than Facebook. It was actually created for hiring managers, right? So hiring managers, back in the day, if you applied to 100 jobs with 100 different companies, they all have their different hiring process, different interview process, a different onboarding process. So the thought was, hey, if you're a business and you want to hire people, it would just make sense that there's one dashboard to do all of that. So LinkedIn was actually established really for the HR community as an interview platform, if you will, to kind of help and, be a resource to the hiring process. So if we could have all of our candidates on the one portal and their resumes digitally, that's how LinkedIn started. But it's not just about the job search. A lot of it is about the relationships, or maybe your next job, or maybe a future business partner, and just the networking and the community that's on here. Like, I know I've transitioned out of the military in 2007, but there's a phenomenal group of people, of veterans, who say, hey, we got us. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna coach you. I'm gonna mentor you. Whatever I can do to help you, a fellow battle buddy, I'm gonna help you. I know that, our college, alumni, is crazy on here. I always say LinkedIn is the virtual business card. So I think it's a phenomenal platform, probably its biggest fan. But it's not just about the job search. It's honestly about the relationships and the communities that are on here. It took me a long time to really grasp that because I was not a fan of social media at all. I just wasn't, and I couldn't figure out how to use it, and what the pattern was and the strategy was. So there's four or five really different ways that I see if you're transitioning out of the military, you should really consider. Obviously, as a job search, you're always going to be looking for the next gig. So it's like, I get the job search, but it's also the research behind the job search. Also, we have, like I said, the fact that you can build relationships. You can reach out to people you worked with 10, 20 years ago. You can reach out with future mentors, future coaches, a community of people. Like there's hundreds of thousands of groups on here of professional people with professional backgrounds who can really help push you and pull you into the person you need to become. So I think a lot of the access to mentorship is huge on LinkedIn. There's some unbelievable human beings on this platform. Also, but it's just establishing a professional brand. There's not a month that goes by where I don't talk to somebody and they say, hey, I got a job offer today on LinkedIn, because they see the quality of my work. And I think that LinkedIn can be utilized to essentially show and tell. I built this, I built that. Let me show you guys digitally, virtually, what it looks like. It is your digital portfolio. So maybe you're not looking for a job today, but maybe somebody's looking for you. Maybe they're hunting for you, and you can essentially have, you can show and tell your work. So I think having that professional brand, that looks like, writing a weekly article, establishing a newsletter, establishing, a how-to guide, strategies, pages. There's so many different ways that you can document your skill set. If I was a coach, if I was a speaker, if I was an IT, HR, finance, you can actually put pencil to paper and show the world, hey, this is a little bit about my genius. This is a little bit about my brilliance here digitally on my LinkedIn platform. So I'm gonna get into how y'all can better display what it is, exactly who you are and what you do. And then I mentioned already a couple times about finding a coach, finding a mentor. I think this is huge opportunity. We're just some unbelievable human beings, and the fact that we can just cultivate relationships, I think is really big. All right. But honestly, so for my family getting ready to transition out of the military, I want you to think why LinkedIn is necessary. So like I said, it's a global, user-friendly, business-focused database. Say that again. It's a user-friendly, global, business-focused database. It is a very different audience on LinkedIn than it is on Instagram, than on Facebook, than on Twitter. It just is. I always like to say it's the C-suite of social media. You guys, if you're planning to be in business for the next 5 or 10 years, your butt needs to be on LinkedIn, right? But you got to understand that a majority of hiring managers and business executives utilize this network, this platform, so you can get on here and connect with them, be in the same groups, be in the same communities with them, and just listen and learn. Sometimes it's cool to just be a fly on the wall and just be a student of that industry, be a student of that business. So understanding that sometimes I use it, but people use LinkedIn just for research purposes. Sometimes I just want to sit back and observe and watch somebody who's in 2 years, 3 years, 5, 10 years ahead of me, and understanding what moves I need to make to kind of get where they are today. And the more these people see you, the more you stand out. I mean, it's kind of like The Stranger, right? We'll get to that later, but it's like out of sight, out of mind. It's a marketing concept, folks. If the more people see you, the more they get to just establish a relationship with you, an opinion about you, your reputation. Sales 101. We do business with people we know, like, and trust. And the more I see you, the more I get to determine whether I know you, whether I like you, or whether or not I trust you enough to come and work with my business. So I think a lot of people who are getting ready to transition out of the military have a visibility problem. You have been hiding and no one knows who you are. All right. So I want to talk about how we can better utilize LinkedIn to help us stop hiding. So I'm using LinkedIn to do. So anybody watching this, I want you to think about what exactly your goals are for this platform. I'm using LinkedIn to do blank. Research my competition. I did this like probably 8 years ago. But I knew that I wanted to become a CIO, Chief Information Officer, the top technology professional in my industry, especially in Atlanta. And I thought about, how do I get there? And I literally, LinkedIn let me sort the top 25 business professionals, CIOs in Atlanta. And I printed out 25 profiles of CIOs, 25 that LinkedIn said was number 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, boom. All 25. I literally did what a greatest common factor. They kept using this word, this skill, this education. And I noticed, and I did, one of these things is not like the other. My profile didn't look like their profile. So I was literally using LinkedIn to research where I wanted to be and understanding how my profile did not look like their profile. So I really wanted to better utilize LinkedIn to get a sense of what skill sets I was missing. So researching your competition, I think, is the number 1, 2, and 3 reason your butt needs to be on LinkedIn. 2, like I've already mentioned, networking with a majority of hiring managers and business executives. I think it's absolutely phenomenal that you can apply for a job on LinkedIn and then turn around and email the person who posted it. I can email the HR director of Google. I can email the HR director of Microsoft. I can email the hiring manager of Coca-Cola. Like, in what world can you do that? On LinkedIn. I could probably hit them up on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. That's a very different conversation than the one that would be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the business professionals platform. So the fact that you can network with people who are potentially going to hire you or maybe fund or sponsor or partner your next venture, I think is absolutely incredible. And then lastly, like I mentioned before, establishing a professional brand. Are you using LinkedIn to really kind of begin to tell your story of how the market sees you? Because there's a difference in understanding, like, if the market can't find you, how will the market pay you? You're like a stranger. Why would I let a stranger in my house, in my car? Why would I let a stranger in my business? So the fact that you have no brand, you have no visibility, is a big reason why you may be having problems right now finding a gig. Because it's like stranger danger, right? So understanding what your goals and objectives are to utilize LinkedIn to kind of really put yourself out there, or just like I said, just to research competition. I think there's a very smart way to do it. So the reason that I'm doing this today, a little bit about this again, is veteran unemployment. It's the number 1 issue for military transition members, and this goes back before, during, and even after COVID-19. Veteran unemployment is the biggest enemy of all, but also you got to understand that LinkedIn is the number 1 job platform. So I was like, why isn't every veteran trained on how to utilize LinkedIn? Like, I wish I could, grab the shoulders of the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, and be like, listen, add another week to basic training and just do 1 whole week on LinkedIn. Do one whole week of transitioning out of the military, because our brave men and women in the military, they have the soldier's mindset. So they're trained for the combat battlefield, but they're not trained for the economic battlefield. So understanding how to utilize these tools and these strategies like LinkedIn can really put them in a position to win in this war of unemployment. All right, the soldiers are trained for the combat battlefield and not the economic battlefield. So I want to give them all the tools and strategies to be successful. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing I see people do or not do is understanding that they do not have a header in their profile. And I'll kind of share my screen here in a little bit, but I want you to understand that your profile is essentially your personal mission statement. It's your XYZ. I do blank for blank. I help businesses make money by selling products at 10% faster than the other sales managers. What exactly is it that you do for a business? You have to understand that 3 things is really what they're looking for. They want to know, do you help a business make money, or save time? I'll say that again. Does your resume and your LinkedIn profile clearly and concisely say how you help a business make money, or save time? They don't give a damn where you went to school or how many certifications you have if it doesn't pass those 3 tests. How do you clearly say you're helping a business make money, or save time? Your header needs to say that. All right, it is your billboard to the World Wide Web, so don't leave it blank. Here's what I mean. Let me see if I can share mine. Boom. So, wow, who's that guy? The header is right here. Your header is right under your name. It's what you are, what you do. It can be your titles, but you can say XYZ. Like, I was a CFO for so-and-so, bank, and I helped the bank save 30% last quarter. It's really your power statement. So you always want to make sure you put that in there. That is your header. Let's go ahead and jump back in here. So make sure that your header, I'm really going to get into this later, the real meat and potatoes. So bookmark this if you're taking notes. So please take notes. But you want to put SEO. What is SEO? SEO is search engine optimization. We want to put keywords for the next job that you want. So if I'm getting out of the military in the next 90 days, or maybe if I just got out 6 days ago, I need to understand the next 5 or 10 jobs that I want. Like, what do they look like? Find them on LinkedIn. If you copy paste them, put them in a Word document, and then if you look at which words that they consistently use, what new words they use, i.e. cloud or Okta or Snowflake. It's a real software application, by the way. It's not a political term. Those words that are in the next job that you want, those keywords need to be in your header. Very important, and I'll get to why in a second. Next one. This is like 3rd grade stuff, I feel. It's your profile pic. Y'all are killing me. Stop taking car photos. Stop taking car photos. We don't do car selfies. It's not just LinkedIn, it's just in general. If you're over 30, if you have a car photo as your profile pic, I promise you, I'm going to find you, I'm going to take off my belt, give you the old Frank Barone, right? Stop taking car photos. I've literally been in a room with HR directors who go like, damn, they took a selfie and that's their profile pic? It means poor judgment. It's a poor judgment call. Someone's like, it's not a big deal. It doesn't help, but it doesn't hurt. So why would you put something out there that's not going to maximize who you are? Your LinkedIn profile is your virtual resume. So why would you underwhelm? It's kind of weird to me, right? This is not Instagram. So no car photos, and honestly, I don't even like selfies, period. It doesn't mean to be stiff. Like, I'm not saying go to a professional photo shoot and hire a $300 photographer. You can show some personality. I mean, we all have these $1,000 iPhones. But just be smart, show some personality, and there's a really, really cool feature I love on LinkedIn. They have, it's called creator mode. If you turn on creator mode, it lets you do a 30-second video. So I can show a video of myself, my personality. I'm funny, I'm goofy, or whatever you are. Like, you are uniquely you. And sometimes your resume and your cover letter doesn't display that. So I like to turn on creator mode. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here. You go to your profile, and then right there in the middle, resources, creator mode is turned on. When I turn creator mode on, it lets you gives you 2 things. One, I can have a video right here. I've been working on my video. But 2, give you a section called feature. So what feature does, it literally lets you feature some of your work. It's like literally it highlights your portfolio. Like, what have you done? If you have a website, if you have quality of work. I think every human being in America 16 and older should have a LinkedIn page. I think you should have your own website in your name to show the world who you are and what you can do for them. If I'm in HR, I'm gonna have an HR website. If I'm in IT, I'm gonna have an IT website. If I'm in a local band, my band's gonna have a website. So my name is Richie Thomas. I have a RichieThomas.com. So I think you should have your own website to display who you are, because you are uniquely you. So when you turn on creator mode for LinkedIn, it'll let you highlight your portfolio of what you do. So I can add as many things as I want. So those are what I'm trying to talk about. Your boy was on the TEDx page, and I got my own website. So of course I'm gonna talk about that, right? I'm passionate about helping troops, and both of those help troops. So turn on creator mode to do a video so you can show hiring managers and your next business ventures, partners and whatnot, a little bit of who you are. I think that's really, really powerful. Your header plus SEO, keywords for the next job you're looking for. I think I already touched on that. Oh, this was important. Look at your competitor's header and profile. So what I like to do, Ghost Dad back here somewhere. Is look at your competitor's header and profile. If you look at the next, I always say, look at your dream job 5 years from now. Who on LinkedIn is in that role right now? Who on LinkedIn is in that position? If you just look at the way that they sell themselves and just their header compared to your header, I would look at the 10 people in that role for different companies. Like if I was going to be the CFO of Coca-Cola, I would look at the CFO of Coke, CFO of Pepsi, and all of the soft beverages company, and I would look at how their profile is compared to mine. So look at their profile and look at their header and look what keywords they're putting in their profile that are not in your profile. All right. How do they see themselves? How do they sell themselves? And how do they brand themselves compared to you? It's crazy to me. LinkedIn is basically like giving you the answers to the test. So I can look up thousands of people's resume and go, oh wow, mine doesn't look like that. So let me fill in the gaps, as long as it aligns with something you're doing. Don't be lying on here now. All right. This one's really important. Next kind of strategy nugget, personalize your invites. So I mentioned this earlier, but there's this concept called stranger danger. You know, we all remember the American hero Kevin McAllister, Home Alone. He's like, yo, I'm not letting strangers in my house. We don't let strangers in our house. When's the last time you picked up a hitchhiker? If I don't know you, I don't rock with you because you are a stranger and I don't know what your intentions are. So stranger danger means, why would I hire somebody I really don't know? I need to do 1 round of interviews, a second, a third, or 4th round. I've been on 6 rounds of interviews since I've been out of the military. But they do that to get a feel for you because they want us to understand we don't want to hire somebody who's going to lose it on us, who can't cut the mustard, as they say. So I like to encourage people that after you apply for a job, like follow up and send a professional email, but personalize it. So if your HR director is Mark, I would say, hey Mark, read on his profile, see you went to UGA, I'm a huge Bulldogs fan, XYZ, just want to let you know I applied for the job, I love the opportunity to come and get to work with you. Always follow up who you're trying to network with, and send them a personal email. I think that's really important. I like sending video emails even because I like to show, a little bit about my personality and who I am and what I can do. But people want to be recognized. So I always like to send them out and just be like, hey, I'm a big fan of what you did on X, Y, and Z. Hey, I saw your podcast and I thought it was boom. Hey, I was at your conference last month and I love the fact that you and your company did boom, boom, boom for the troops. So people want to be recognized, they want to be praised, and they want to be personally acknowledged. So I think personalize your invites is a huge, huge cheat code. I hate when people send me those copy-paste generic sales emails in LinkedIn. I'm like, damn, I'm giving y'all all of the free game on my profile. Give me something. Tell me that you spent 30 seconds reading my profile. Give me something, right? So personalize your invites. This is probably the biggest one of all, is your keywords need to be everywhere. Your keywords need to be everywhere. In your header, your about me, your experience, those are the 3 big bullets. If y'all don't take away anything from today's Saturday sessions, your keywords for the next dream job you want need to be everywhere on your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to dramatically pause. Keywords everywhere. Here's why. So if you are traveling right now, if you are, get on a plane, train, automobile to the next city or state, and the first thing you do when you get off the plane, you check into the hotel, you call the Uber, you're going to type in Google, hey, I'm hungry, what's the top 10, top 20 Mexican restaurants out here? Google's going to say, hey, here's the top 10, 20 Mexican restaurants. They're not going to give you the top Italian. They're not going to give you the best barbecue. They're not going to give you the best Korean barbecue or soul food restaurants. They're going to give you any restaurant that is registered as a Mexican restaurant. So what does this mean? It's called SEO, search engine optimization. When you put in specific questions to Google, Google then gives you those very specific answers to those questions. So Google's essentially saying, hey, here's what you search for in sequence. Let us give it back to you. Recruiters do the exact same thing on LinkedIn, y'all. This is what irks me so much when people are like, hey, I don't have a LinkedIn profile. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Recruiters will literally type in, CIO, Chief Information Officer, CFO, Chief Financial Officer. If that title phrase, any of the keywords that make up that job description are not in your header, they're not in your about me, they're not in your experience, like you'll never show up in the search results. And you're probably amazing at what you do, but you're not showing up because you didn't even bother to fill out your LinkedIn profile. So you gotta put the keywords for that next job, put it in your header, put in your about me, put in your experience. Cool? Let me show you what I mean. So your about me should look like this. Boom, my about section right here. I hit see more. When the recruiter is on LinkedIn, they're right here, the search at the top. and they're going to type in candidates who have these words in their profile. So that's based on what is in my about me here. So any words I have here is going to trigger the search. So if you don't have Mexican restaurant in here, you're not going to show up in the search results. If you don't have that next job, that next meat and potato phrase that's in there, cloud, whatever, that next industry that you're trying to be in, if that's not showing up on here, you're not going to show up on the LinkedIn results. SEO, very, very important. The internet is run by words. That's what a really, really smart engineer from NASA told me. The internet is run by words. You have to have the right words in the right place on your profile, in your header, your activity, and more importantly, this is probably the end all be all, even in your experience. So in your job experience, places that you've worked, you want to sprinkle in some of those keywords for the next job that you want, that dream job that you want. Some of that same heavy word usage needs to go in your previous jobs, so they can kind of see the sequence. Oh, he's done that before. Oh, she's done that before. Oh, they have done that before. Make sure I check off political correctness box. But they want to make sure that you put everything that aligns with that next one. So your keywords need to be everywhere. I cannot overstate how important that one is, right? And then I think we got a couple more. Your experience is your empire. I want them... I told somebody, yo, put this on my tombstone. Your experience is your empire. Cannot overstate how important this one is. It basically means you've been working for 3 years, 5 years, 10, 20, 30 years. Whatever you've done, essentially you're an expert. You've been doing it for 5 years. You've been doing it for 10. Like, if you've been doing it for longer than 3, then you know more than the other 90% of the world who's not in that lane, who's not in that industry. Right? I had a massive water leak in my house. Came home, there was water all over the yard. My neighbor came, knocked on my door, was like, dude, you have something going on. Something busted. There's a water pipe. We went on YouTube and we were like trying to find the emergency water shutoff valve for like 2 hours while we're calling plumbers at the same time. Everyone said, hey, you have a leak outside your home. We're a plumber from the inside, so we can't get there. We finally found the right YouTube video, but still couldn't figure out. The YouTube video did not align with the layout of my home. So we finally called an emergency outside plumber. It's actually a different term. It was for the water sprinkler system had busted. And like probably 9 hours later, the guy got there, and all the time I never found the emergency shutoff valve. And I was like, damn, I'm losing all this water. And he goes, yeah, you're losing like 60 gallons a second. Literally, a gallon a minute. You're losing 1 gallon per minute. And I was like, damn. Not only was I hurt because I knew that water bill was going to be like $500, I was like, yo, how did you find the emergency shutoff so quickly? He said, dude, you're an expert at what you do. I'm an expert in what I do. I've been doing this 20 years. And I was like, he's been doing it 20 years so he could figure out how to solve my problem in 90 seconds. He also handed me a $2,000 bill, but that's not the point. The point is, your experience is your empire. So understand that whatever you've been through in the military, whatever branch of service you've been in, you can turn around and teach that. You can coach, you can consult, you can start a business in that area. So what I always like to tell folks is whatever you've been through, that's what you have mastered. That's what you have survived. So it's important that your LinkedIn profile reflect your area of expertise. So I like this, what they call talk about the spike. What is your superpower from that experience? What have you been through? What did you learn? What did you go through? What did you grow through? And who did you become in the process? And more importantly, how can you help the next individual up get over that situation, that circumstance that you are in? You have to understand that businesses hire you not because your education or your certification. You get paid to manage problems, or you get paid to solve problems for a business. So if you talk about how your spike, what you're good at, your superpower, how does that help solve that big problem in business? It's called Talk About the Spike. Your profile should clearly say what it is you do better than the rest of the World Wide Web. Number 2, expanding connections. So you want to build out a list of appropriate connections. Think 5 years out. Who do you need to know and how can you help them? What recruiters, I have at least 25 recruiters that I'm connected with here on LinkedIn that I've built over the years. and they see my posts and vice versa, and I post on their stuff and comment and share and all this good stuff, well, we have a connection. I've had lunch with them over the years. Just think about being intentional and expanding your connections, your resources. If I was in college, I love people who sit on college boards because they're very intentional, like about sitting on a board and helping out the next individual up, helping out the students in college and their networking. Think about all the individuals you met when you were in the military. I make sure to go back every person from basic training to today that I've ever met. The first thing I try to do is connect with them on LinkedIn. Boom, right? Engagements and comments are absolutely gold. I always tell people on LinkedIn, the algorithm has this unwritten rule that comments are everything. So if you can get as many comments on a post as many comments on a post, it'll kind of boost if or when you post. I encourage everybody to post, to be part of the platform, this never-ending conversation. But engagement and comments are everything. The entire point of social media is to be social. So the algorithm rewards you when people are social with your content. So the more that they comment, the more that they engage with it, that's what it gets rewarded. Feed the machine. Engage. But also engage with people you want to build a relationship with. Engage with the post of the next hiring manager. Engage with the post of someone you may want to partner with or sponsor with, right? The last two here on this slide is sell up, not where you are. I love this concept of telling people, yo, if you want to hire me, you better understand who I'm getting ready to become in the next 3 to 5 years. Y'all better buy this stock now, because you will not be able to afford it in the next 3 to 5. So I always tell people, highlight on your resume and on your LinkedIn profile, sell up, not where you are. Highlight where you are going in your career, and more importantly, you guys better hire me now, because I promise you, it'll help your business if you do. So highlight where you are going in your career and how it will help your business. The last one for this slide is new material every week. I really encourage people, don't be afraid to hit publish and show your work. We need and want proof of your dopeness. Somebody in the world needs you. If you're a financial advisor, if you're a marriage counselor, if you're a car mechanic, but the more visibility we have of who you are, what problems you can solve, the more confidence we'll have in buying from you. So I would encourage people, I beg them, please post once a week. Please post once a week, at a minimum once a week. Can you give us a paragraph on what you have learned and been through in your career and your business? So I always encourage people, don't be afraid to publish and show your work. We want any proof of your dopeness. Cannot overstate that. And the last one here, please, hire an expert to write your resume. Hire an expert, a professional resume writer to write your resume. You are not a resume writer. You are not a professional writer. You are not an HR. So don't write your Samuel L. Jackson resume. Stop writing your resume if you're not a professional resume writer. There's a specific language to business. It's like speaking Spanish, like speaking French, like speaking Russian, like speaking English. You have to understand that business has its own language, and if you do not speak that language fluently, your resume will reflect that. Because you're going to give this resume to a professional business, hiring manager. So I always encourage people, I beg them, please hire a professional resume writer and to write your resume and help sell you and brand you to the marketplace. All right. The next thing is joining the right groups. You need a team. I will forever die on this hill. The reason Michael Jordan has 6 rings to LeBron's 4 is that Michael Jordan is surrounded by Hall of Fame players when he was on those teams. You guys need a new team now that you're getting ready to transition out of the military. You need to be surrounded with people, coaches, and mentors who are going to help push you and pull you into the next version of yourself. So join the right groups here on LinkedIn and understand that you can network and build relationships with them as a result. The next one, if and when you post, Mondays through Thursdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is basically peak traffic. Those are the best times to post. If you think about, again, what LinkedIn is and who it was for, it's built for business professionals. I said it, LinkedIn is essentially Facebook for people who have careers. So people who have careers are in the 9 to 5. So stop posting outside of 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So your peak hours are always going to be Monday through Thursday. And traffic, it dips down. It's just natural. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I listen to Saturday sessions, and it's Independence Day weekend. I probably shouldn't even be posting today, but even if I can get to just one veteran who's watching this, like, comment here and below, I'd appreciate it. But honestly, for peak engagement, you'll always want to hit Monday through Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's not my opinion, ladies and gentlemen. That's simple analytics. The last two here, this one drives me absolutely insane. This is not just LinkedIn, but all of them. Stop putting 3,000 hashtags in your profile, in your post. You do not need hashtag HR, hashtag brand, hashtag motivation, hashtag leadership. You can't have 97 hashtags. What it is you are confusing the algorithm when you do that. Keep it, they call it the 2-finger rule. 2 fingers, that's it. You shouldn't have more than 2 fingers worth of hashtags. Really, you shouldn't have more than 3. You shouldn't have more than 5. 3 to 5, that's it. What lane industry are you posting about? Stop tagging it in 87 categories, because what happens is you are confusing the algorithm, folks. You are confusing the computer. You're saying, hey, this conversation goes in hashtag military transition, but it goes in hashtag HR, but it also goes in hashtag leadership. No, categorize it under hashtag corporate finance. No, hashtag it under motivation. You're telling the computer to put this conversation everywhere, and that's what spam bots do. So they literally demote it when you put more than like 10 in there. It will literally suppress it, because you're confusing the algorithm. This conversation, this post can only go in one category. Which bucket am I putting this post in? So be very smart. Stop putting 97 hashtags in your profile posts. It's annoying. And lastly, fill out your experience. Man, out of everything I see on LinkedIn, the thing that pisses me off the most is like when someone has a blank profile. We talked about keywords, SEO, all of that matters. But when you have nothing in there, it's your digital resume. So if you have nothing in there, you've been working for 20 years, maximize the body of your work. You've been there for 5 years, 10 years, 20. Show us who you are and what you've done. Stop hiding. I'm so sick of people hiding their side hustles and hiding their secret book. Don't tell anybody. You're hiding your skill set. You're hiding your brilliance. You're hiding your genius. So fill out your experience, tell the world who you are, and more importantly, how it will help them and what you can do for them. I think that's really, really important. So stop hiding, fill out your resume, fill out your experience on here on this incredible platform. And then lastly, I think, boom, that is it. I did this again because of simple supply and demand. Seeing all these military transition folks. Angeline hit me up, shout out to her. My man David Wooten and my man Scott, who's a Marine. All of them are getting ready to get out or have already been out, transitioned out in the military in these last few weeks, and have been brave enough to post on LinkedIn that they need a hand. So I was like, yo, let me do something for them and all the thousands of people I've seen in the military transition groups here. There's about 4 or 5 military transition groups that are helping folks getting ready to transition out of the military with their strategies, coaching, mentoring, all of the above. But I just kind of wanted to do my part and say, here's how I utilize LinkedIn. Here's how I think you should too. Cool? All right, folks, this is Richie Thomas, the Soldier's Coach, and I will tell you peace out, but the reality is most of y'all need peace in. Peace.